everyone, it's Sandra, and a couple of videos ago, my last beauty haul video that I did, I had so many requests to do a tutorial on the makeup look that I had on. So that is what I'm doing for you today. I like to call this kind of like a summer nude glow tutorial. We have a neutral metallic lid and nude lip, and if you want to see how I achieve this look, just keep watching. Alright, so I am going to prime my face with the Too Faced Primed and Poreless primer, and the foundation that I'm using today is the Dior Skin Nude Air. I am shade number 21. I don't put this all over my face, I just put it on the areas where I tend to get oily, or if I have some pores or some textural issues, but it does have that silicone feeling, so if you're not a fan of silicone-y primers, you will probably not like this. Next up, I'm applying this foundation with my fingers. Just shake it up a little bit. I really don't like the pipette dispensers just because I feel like I'm always dripping it on something. I'm just going to drop it straight on my face and then gently work it into the skin. I'm trying not to rub it too hard because I feel like if I do that, it tends to rub off. It does weird things. So the best way is to use as little pressure as possible and pat it into the skin. That way you can get it to really stay put, and it gives a really nice finish as well. And I've tried using it with a beauty blender and a brush, and I do not like it as much as I do with my fingers. I feel like you get the best coverage and the best finish with fingers with this foundation. But you can see the difference that it makes on the side of my face. It's just so much smoother. I'm doing the same thing on the other half. You can build up the coverage with this, so I'm just making a couple of marks in the areas where I need a tiny bit more coverage. I don't want to use a separate concealer today, so I'm just using this foundation. The coverage is not full, it's just about medium, but I don't mind if I have some imperfections that show through. I feel like that ends up looking better overall than just a mask-like total full coverage face. I just feel like that just does not look good. For concealer, I'm using the Clarins Instant Concealer in shade number 2. I like this concealer, but I don't love it. I don't think I would buy it again. I like the NARS concealer a lot more, but I don't think I've ever used this Clarins concealer on camera, so I thought I would bust it out for this video. I'm just tapping it in with my ring finger. Concealer only comes in 3 shades. Shade number 2 has a little bit more of a pink undertone, so I figured that that would work well under the eyes. So that is the under eye concealer, and then I have the NARS Creamy Concealer in the shade Vanilla, and I'm just using it a little bit to brighten. Just a couple of spots down the center of my face that I want to be a little bit brighter. I'm almost using it as a highlighter. Now to set everything, I am using the Too Faced Cocoa Powder Foundation. This is in the shade Light, and I'm just using a very light coating of it. The overall look is pretty glowy, but I do get really oily. So I like to use a powder foundation. This particular powder foundation is really great. As you can tell, I hit pan on it this week. It just holds oil very well. It adds a little bit of extra coverage. It doesn't oxidize, and it just fades nicely throughout the day. It doesn't look cakey or anything. I'm a big fan of it, and it also smells like cocoa, which is a bonus. So as you can see, I'm focusing the powder on the center of my face. My cheeks don't get as oily as the rest of my face. And I'm setting the under eye area with the Mercier Secret Brightening Powder and a small powder brush. Now let's move into the eyes. I've had a lot of requests for this makeup look ever since I wore it in one of my recent haul videos. For a base, I'm using the Nudestix Angel Magnetic Eye Color. Beautiful, pale, pinky champagne color. This is like a MAC paint pot, similar in texture, and it's a bit more subtle. And the lasting power of these is great. They're not as creamy as the Mercier Caviar sticks, so they don't crease as easily. The Mercier Caviar sticks are awesome, but they crease really, really quickly on me. I always have to use a primer with them. These, I can get away with using this without a primer. In the haul video, in that makeup look, I was actually using Burberry Pale Barley eyeshadow, but I thought I would switch it up. So I thought I would use a very similar color, but slightly different. It's also by Burberry, and it's the Wet Dry eyeshadow in the color Nude Glow, and this is what it looks like. It is very, very shiny, very beautiful, and you can use it wet or dry, and I'm going to use it both today. So I'm going to start by using it dry on a MAC 217 brush, and just applying it all over the face. Not over the face, that would be disgusting. All over the eyelid, that's what I meant. Up into the crease as well. And then I'm going to build up the intensity a little bit, and I'm going to use it wet. Now, I like to use the actual little sponge that it comes with when I use it wet. And so I'm using a little bit of the Smashbox primer water, and I'm spraying it on the little sponge and dipping it into the corner of the eyeshadow and applying it starting at the inner corner. Just going to apply it closer to the lash line on my eyelid, and you can see how the color changes. It loses warmth, it gets a little bit more cool toned and a lot more metallic when you use it wet. Next, I'm using this eyeshadow palette. This is by Estee Lauder. It's called Fierce Safari, and it's a beautiful neutral gold and khaki palette. I'm going to use this warm gold color on the same MAC 217 brush, and I'm just using this in the outer corner. And on a MAC 219 brush, I'm taking the same color and using it underneath in the lower lash line. I'm taking the darkest color in the palette, this dark brown, and I'm using it on the lower lash line as well. Then I'm taking a MAC 220, what is this, so 226. You can use any brush that you like to work with for the inner corner, and I'm using these light colors, this white color and this beautiful gold color here. I'm just blending them together, and I'm going to use them in the inner corner. I usually like to keep things pretty simple and use only about 3 eyeshadows at a time, but I'm really going crazy today. I am taking, you can just take your favorite crease color. I'm taking Naked by Urban Decay. You can use bronzer or whatever you'd like, and a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to use this in the crease to warm things up a little bit and just kind of bring everything together. You don't have to do this step, but I feel like with me, my eyes are slightly hooded, and it always helps to have a little bit of a matte, soft brown in the crease. I always feel like it looks better when I do it, this step. I'm going to use a liquid liner now, and I'm actually trying out a new liner today. This is by Kat Von D, and it's the ink liner. It's not the same as the tattoo liner. She just released it in a bunch of different colors, and I just bought the black one. This is called Trooper, and it's very similar to the tattoo liner, except the tip is, instead of being a brush tip, it's a felt tip, and it's very, very stiff. Alright, so the liquid liner is done. I'm going to curl my lashes, use some mascara, and do my eyebrows. I'm going to do all that off camera to save some time, but I'll tell you what I'm using. I'm using the Maybelline Real Impact Mascara, the Maybelline Brow Drama, and the Anastasia Brow Pencil in the color Ebony. Alright, now to finish off the face, for blush, I'm using the Bourjois blush. This is a shade number 01, Nude Velvet. It's a beautiful, soft, peach color, and this is a Real Techniques contouring brush, and I'm just going to dab it in here and tap it on to the cheeks. This is a beautiful formula. It is cream to powder, so it's great if you have oily skin. It won't make you look greasy, and it actually, the pigment stays put throughout the day. I don't like a lot of cream blushes, but I like this formula a lot. It's very similar to the Chanel cream blush formula, which I also really, really love. Alright, so I just did my bronzer and highlight, and my camera did not record that because the memory card was full. So you'd think that after 5 years of being on YouTube, I would have learned to manage these things, but no. They just need to make a siren that's really loud and really annoying, and it alerts you when your memory's about to run out, when your battery's dying. Anyway, so for bronzer, I use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I love this bronzer so much. It's beautiful, it's matte, it's very, very subtle, but if you are up to about an NC 25, NC 30, this will work. And for highlighter, I use this beautiful, beautiful highlighter by Mercier. Now, I got this when it first came out. It was released as Spellbound, but it is now out again, and it's called Indiscretion. So the color is exactly the same. I checked it out on some blogs, and they did seem to just re-release the same color. So if you do not have the old version, just get the new version right now called Indiscretion, and it's the same beautiful, beautiful product. So that is the highlighter that I have on. I'm going to use the Smashbox Primer Water just because I do want this to be more of a glowy finish. It doesn't make your makeup last longer or anything like that. It is nice, it smells nice, but that's about it. It's good if you like to use setting powder. It's good to use it after that to take away that powdery finish, but there are so many products on the market that are cheaper than this that can do the same thing. So I'm using the Lancome Natural Mauve lip liner first. This is a great My Lips But Better type of lip liner. And I'm overlining my lips just a tiny, tiny bit just to make them look a little bit more symmetrical. And the lipstick that I'm using is by Burberry. It's the Burberry Kisses lipstick in the color Nude Pink, and it's a beautiful nude pink. It's not too nude and it's not too pink either. It's a great color. It does enhance the lips really nicely. It doesn't wash you out or make the lips kind of non-existent. So I like this. This formula is great. Doesn't smell like anything. Super comfortable to wear, and it's also very buildable. So you can use it as a very nice sheer wash of color, or you can, swipe it across the lips a few times to get more of a pigmented result. And that is it. That is the finished look. Just a very beautiful, soft, nude, glowy type of makeup. Very appropriate for a fun summer evening out or something like that. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this look, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.